Hi fam, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So in today's tutorial, we're going to be making this beautiful top that you see on the screen. So if this is what you're interested in, let's get started. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. So here's the fabric that I'm using. I'm using 1 yard of crepe fabric, and as you can see, I went ahead to cut it into my desired length. It was after I cut it that I realized that the front was going to be longer, so I had to take off one piece and then fold the rest of the fabric that I had that I'll be using for the front. So this is what I'll be using for the front. So that is it. So the first thing we're going to do is to work on the back first. So we're going to draft the back first. Okay, we're not using the pattern paper. We're just going to cut it open here on the fabric. So first I'm going to take my neck width of 3.5 inches, and then on this side we're going to come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope, the sleeve, the slope. Now just so you know, you don't have to take this slope, okay? You can just leave it like that. You don't have to take it. All right, but if you want to, it's still fine. So the next thing we're going to do is to mark the neck, the back neck depth, and I took 2 inches for that, 2.5 inches. I think you can do more or less if that is what you want. I'm using my pen so that you can see the points clearly, and I'm only used it on parts where I know that I'm going to be cutting off. So next I'm going to take my shoulder to chest line, which is 9 inches. Then I'm going to mark my shoulder to bust point, which is 11 inches, shoulder to under bust 14, shoulder to waist 18, and then I'm marking 24 inches for the full length of the dress, the top, plus 1 inch for hemming allowance. And I'm just going to connect straight lines across this point as you see me doing, okay, with my chalk. And that's it. So the next thing that we're going to do is to determine the opening of the sleeve. Now I'm just working with what I have, but if you have enough fabric, you can go ahead to just do however you want for the opening, okay? That's why I said you don't have to slope your shoulders, just leave it at that. But when I measured, I had 8 inches, and that is what I'm going to use. Next, I'm going to mark my bust circumference divided by 4 plus 1 inch, and then I decided to add ½ inch as well. That's 1.5 inch for sewing allowance, and then also for ease later on if I wanted to. So please know that there's no dart on this top, so I'm just marking all my circumference points divided by 4, and then I'm going to connect. Now please, this part, just you can go ahead to just connect it straight. You don't have to use the curvy part of the rule. If you want to, it's still totally fine. Next, we're going to just make a curve like this. Just curve it to create the armhole, as you can see here, and that is basically it for the back. So I'm just going to pin it down like this, and afterwards we're going to cut off the excess as you see me doing. Okay, just go ahead. This is very simple, as you can see. So that is it. So I wish that I didn't take out the slope, right? So if you don't want to, it's totally fine. You're going to have a bigger sleeve, which is exactly how it is in the style. So this is the back. So now we're going to put this aside and work on the front. So as you can see here, I folded the front piece like this. So we're going to bring the back piece back to the front, and then we're going to arrange it. Just adjust your fabric and arrange it accordingly. So what we're going to do now is to just connect this line to the other side. We're just going to go ahead and then connect that line straight, so we know that it's our shoulder line. From this point, we're going to come down by 5 inches or 6. It depends on what you want to mark the front neck depth, and then we're going to connect outwards. Then from this point, we're going to mark 1.5 inches. You can do 1 inch or even 2 inches to mark our button allowance, and then we're going to come down and determine how open you want the lower part of it to be. You know, it's like it has this V shape. So I decided to take it on my waist. So from my waist down, so that is where the button is going to stop, from my waist, okay? But in the top, the top that we're using for inspiration, they came up above the waist point. I hope that you understand. That's the opening. So next, we're just going to mark the end point as well. And from that point there, we're going to come in by 1 inch. You can do 1.5 inches or even 2 inches. It depends on how open you want the front to be. Okay, I just did 1 inch because that is what I wanted to do. So as you can see, I've marked that point, and so this is how the opening is going to be. You can see the V shape that I'm trying to create. If you want it to be more open, you're going to come upwards. We're going to come upwards more. All right. I hope that you understand. So you can see the button allowance that I've marked there, as you can see. So I've marked the neck width as well, 3.5 inches. And from there, we're going to connect it to the button line as you see me doing. Okay. So this is what we have. So the next thing that we're going to do is to just pin this down and then follow the rest of the back pattern. And as you see me doing, just go ahead and cut out the front pattern. Can you see? This is very, very simple. Okay. Just like I said, the down part, if you want it to be more open, you're going to come upwards. Okay. That means the button line is going to be shorter. All right. I hope that you understand, please. So that is it. So now we have our pieces that we'll be using. Okay, as you can see, these are the pieces, the front and the back pieces, just like that. So next, I decided to just come up by 1 inch from this point. Okay, you can decide to leave it like this. You can decide to take 2 inches. It depends on what you want. So this is me just checking it to make sure that it is 1 inch. You can do 2, you can do 3, depends on what you want. Okay, so afterwards, you're just going to go ahead, connect, and then cut off the excess like that. So first things first, we're going to go ahead and then cut a facing for the front. So you can see, you're just going to go ahead and then cut the rest of the fabric that we have left, and we're just going to use it as a facing, and then go ahead to trace out this patterns, just following it. Okay, so I place it underwards and underneath, and that is it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and then cut off this part a little bit, and that is what I'm using for my facing. So I cut out 2 pieces, 1 for each side of the top. So next, I'm just going to go ahead and open it up. Okay, open it up like this. Can you see that? So this is what we're going to look. This is what it's going to look like when we're done with the dress. So you can see my opening at the bottom part. You can see that it's not that open. So if you want yours to be very open, then you're going to have to come upwards a bit more. So I'm just going to go ahead and then pin the facing like this, right sides facing each other. I'm just going to pin it down, as you can see, and we're going to do that. We're going to do the same thing for the other side, and afterwards I'm going to weave the lines. Okay, I'm going to stitch down, and then I'm going to weave the sides, and I'm going to come back and show you guys what it looks like. And then we're going to do the same thing for the other side. We're just going to go ahead and then pin down. So as you can see here, guys, I've done that. So after I stitched it down, you can see my opening is not much, right? All right, so that is what I was trying to explain. So after I stitched it, then I used my weaving machine to weave the edges. As you can see, every part has been weaved. And I'm going to use my hemming gum to hold the facing in place because I don't want it to be moving and shaking. So I'm going to use my hemming gum to do that. And then I did the same thing for the back as well. You can see I'm going to use my hemming gum and hold it. So as you can see here, I have done that. I've used my hemming gum to hold it in place. So this is what we have. Can you see that? It's very simple, and you can see how beautifully it has come out. So the next thing we're going to do is to place the back on the front. Okay, so we're going to join it by the shoulders and then by the sides by 1 inch. All right, added 1 inch allowance, and then we're going to just connect it and then fix the shoulders, and I'm going to come back and show you guys what it looks like. So I've turned it to the right side, as you can see. Okay, so now we're going to fix the buttons. Okay, so we're going to just mark the points that we want to fix our buttons. Okay, so for me, I'm going to be fixing 3 buttons, but you can do 4 or 5. It depends on what you want. So at the top there, you want to mark the first point, then you get the middle point, and then you mark, and then you get the last point that you want to use. And just mark your button lines there. Okay, so just mark it, and then afterwards you're going to take it to your sewing machine and you're going to stitch on it. Okay, just that line that you've marked, you're just going to stitch until you form a buttonhole, or you can take it to the shop where they make buttonholes and then the points that you've marked, they are going to create the buttonholes for you. And the next thing you have to do is to fix your buttons on the other side. So this is the buttons that I'm using, okay? I saw them and I love them, and then I decided to use them. So afterwards, just go ahead and fix the buttons, okay? And after you fix them, go ahead and fold your hemline if you want to, okay? For me, I use the outer weaving, so I'm not going to be doing that. And afterwards, you're done with everything. So just go ahead and style it however you want. This is how I styled mine, and you can see how easy and simple it is. So thank you so much for stopping by, guys. I hope you'll be trying the style, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.